Welcome to Paul's Toolbox. Today I'm going to cover putting your crown molding on a cabinet that has a stile on there. So we have to notch this stile out. There are different ways to approach it. Sometimes I fill this little gap because you have a 1/4 inch overhang on the stile with standard cabinets. And either you notch that out or you fill it in. In this segment we're going to go ahead and notch it out. When I notch it out, I'm going to use a pull saw. This is a Japanese pull saw. And the reason why they call it a Japanese pull saw is because you pull it to make the cuts. These are for really fine cutting. So your conventional American saws, you're going to push because the blade's thicker and your teeth are going forward. So that's where you make your cut. On this one, you pull to make your cut. The teeth are backwards. Now, you have two sides to this. One has larger teeth and one has smaller teeth. I'm going to use the small fine tooth side in order to make these cuts. Now you can use a pull saw to do this, or if you have one of these multi-tools, you can use that. I like a pull saw because I bring it on my job site. Sometimes I have to flex and get into some tight corners and things like that, and this is really easy to bring around. If you don't have a pull saw, you can use a chisel to knock this out, to take this little section out. Make sure you have a sharp chisel when you do it. There are a number of ways to do this, but I'm going to show you one way to do it. And I always use a speed square when I'm doing this, and you'll see why, because I want a really fine cut right there and I want it to be straight. Well, now I'm going to show you a little demonstration of how I did this, and then we'll go to the job site. Let's get started. Now you're going to take this Japanese pull saw and you're going to use the fine side, the little teeth. This is a little bit of a coarse side. I'll use this fine side and just drag it along here backwards, because that's what this saw is made to do. You drag it backwards. It's a pull saw. Just drag it a few times. Make sure you do not hit this back panel right here. Just keep it right here, and when you get close to that skin, you stop. You see how I'm right here on the edge, but I'm not going past it. Next, we'll take the chisel and we'll make our grooves. We'll clean that up. Now I'll pull my measurement. This is my outside corner, and I'm cutting it away from my length of wood because I'm cutting an outside corner. When you cut an outside corner, you will only see the finished part of the wood. If you cut an inside corner, you're going to see the unfinished part. It's going to cut the meat out, and you'll see the edge of it right there. So I'm going to take this and mark it on the back side, right at 66 1/8 inches. And I'm marking it on the bottom of the crown. And the reason why is I'm going to flip this crown upside down when I cut it on the saw, and I want to line up the blade with my mark. You take your blade, you line it up with the tooth that touches the wood right on that mark. And if you can't do that and you can't see it, then go a little past the line and come back and clean it up. That way you know you'll get this right. Because if you try this and you're over, you're going to have a bad cut and ruined piece. So start over here and work your way back if you're not positive. My long piece is cut. You see my line right here? Everything's perfect. We're ready to go ahead and cut the 12-inch piece. I'm going that way. I will take it and flip it upside down and cut away from my length of wood this way, and I'll get a perfect measurement. Set it upside down and get a measurement of 12 inches. I'm going to use my pin nailer to nail this in because I don't want to have big holes on it, especially with this wood right here, because it's flat. There's no lines in it, there's nothing, so you're going to see everything. So you really want a tiny pin nailer where you won't dent the wood and you won't have any problems. What you have on here is two triggers. One is a safety trigger and the other is a trigger to pull it and shoot. So you don't have to press on a piece of wood hard. You just barely put it on there and tack it. Pull it up just a little bit. I can feel it in the back to see if I'm even. Now I'll work with this end. I'll glue everything. So we put glue in this corner right here. We'll put it together. If I have trouble lining this up to get it exactly straight, I'll take my speed square and set on here, and that'll line it up. But I think I can eyeball this one pretty good. Set this in place, right on that ledge. I'll be able to work this just the way I want to. Spend a couple of seconds and make sure you line it up perfectly before you shoot it. You get it in the right spot. Careful for your fingers. Just like every job that I do, if I have room above the cabinet to get in there, I'm going to silicone it in. Silicone is consistent and it's thick. It'll stay and lock right along the top and really lock this crown in because I'm just using pin nails. They're strong, but that really locks it in better and it keeps light from passing through. So if you have lights right above this and you have this tiny little crack anywhere in there, you'll see the light through it. Just like with anything else. If you take that and silicone above it and block it, you won't have any cracks showing at all. It looks really clean. Now I can put my door back on. The only thing I have left to do is adjust the doors on this. I'm going to use my Mega Pro screwdriver with all my additional bits in here. This is an industrial strength screwdriver. It's sold by contractor supply houses mostly because it's made for contractors. It's really a tough tool. This is what I want to get back to. Always use a regular screwdriver when you're adjusting these. Never use a torque gun, never use a screw gun or anything like that. Unless it's one of those little skill screwdrivers that barely turns, because a regular one will tear these hinges up. You will break it. Well, that's it for now. I'll see you on the next project. Don't forget to subscribe.